Hello, this is the Mountain Sensors here with another video. Today's video is going to be about gay superheroes. I bring this up because recently there have been seemingly a spike in them. Gay Superman. Now they announced gay Spider-Man, and I don't know why their sexuality has to do with anything. Like they announce it. I think that's my biggest problem. At least I'm going to probably call it a homophobe. Just how I'm wording this, I guess. I should be careful. But that is a big deal though, because it comes out of nowhere usually. There's no like build up. There's just ta-da, gay. Like, can you build this up? Can you not announce that they're gay? Like, you can show that they're gay within the storyline. They can build it up, have a relationship, whatever the decisions that they need to do, and actually make it meaningful. I've said this a few times in my other videos on my main channel with the Storm Sync thing. Yeah, I do feel like it's checking a box. They're trying to pander to a small minority of readers, to be perfectly honest. And it doesn't really make sense financially. Because a lot of these comics just tank. They just are not successful. I think it has a lot to do with it being a bit forced. I remember the whole Iceman thing when that came out. People lost their shit. Like what? Like it just came out of nowhere. Um, I think that's a big issue with a lot of people. There's no build up. All of a sudden they're just gay, even though that they could or are written or seemingly written, I should say, to be straight or assume straight, because that's the pretty. I don't think that's a terrible assumption, consider it's what 98% of the population is straight. Like it's only like 2, maybe 5% of the population. So let's say 5%, 95% of the time, you're going to be correct that they're straight. That's not a terrible assumption. I don't get why people get up in arms over that. Okay, like eh, that's one thing I definitely see and agree with is there's no meaningful storyline to it. They're just gay just to be gay. There's nothing else to be had there. They make it very uninteresting, and they don't put the time and care into the character. And I get why they do establish characters instead of their own like separate character that they just create, right? I think that would be a better establishment of a character. They won't be as successful, obviously, because they're not established and they're not mainstream, and it'd be a lot harder to sell comics. I mean, it's going to be hard enough as it is with the demographic that you're targeting. Just compile that onto also, the I hate to say this word, the woke check marks. Like, they have to do it because to gain brownie points or woke points or whatever. Now, I'm not 100% into that crowd. Like, I don't think they're woke or anything like that. I think that's kind of stupid to say. But I understand if people believe that. I just wish they took the time and effort to actually establish the thing, like them being gay, but they never fucking do. It just seems hollow, meaningless, and pointless. What is the character's sexuality do besides virtual signal? Mainly, I like it, as I said, like in my Storm Sync video, If I was one of these in one of these, if I was gay and in these LBGQ whatever category, I'd be pretty mad. I'd be upset that they're not taking the time and effort and care to actually give something to that aspect. They can do it. I've seen it. I've seen it done. They can take the time and just make it something other than, well, he's gay. That's it. Or they're trans. That's it. Or it's a woman. That is it. Like, no one complained about Ripley or all these other females or gay people. There's not a whole lot of gay people that are like kind of like mainstream like that, but it's because like they're well written, and these stories are rarely that. I can't think of one that actually did a really successful or was even coherently written to a degree where it was competent. Like, it's so frustrating to see them take a well-established character and do this because it's just you see this in video games as well. It's just not like comics. It's in movies. It's in games, and people are just like, okay, they're a woman, why? Or they're gay, why? They're trans, but there's nothing behind other than that they're this demographic. That is it. I remember the whole Miles Morales thing. People were just like, "What?" Like, I don't think they were upset because he was just black. I think that's kind of ridiculous to put on the fans. Because like, I'm glad like Stan Lee said something like said that anyone can be under mask. It doesn't matter who it was. I think it felt just out of nowhere again, forced, just for a diversity quota. And people don't like that if they're well established and actually well written. And I don't think a lot of people would have a problem with that. Look at Laura Croft. Uh, like no one complains about her. Like, but they complain about Battlefield 5. It's just like inserted for fucking no reason. I mean, Laura Croft is not the best or like Oscar winning like writing or anything, but it can be well established enough where it's believable. Long as well as movies or comics, this can work. I know it can work, but I just don't see them taking the time or anything worthwhile to make these characters interesting or have any substance to them. There's just like a shell. Like this is the main characteristic thing about them. Say black, gay, whatever. That is it. And you're supposed to like it, or you're racist, or you're a homophobe. You get. I've seen that done. And it may be like not very prominent, or it could be an outlier of like the general consensus of why like if you don't agree with it or you don't like it or it's just not well written, you are labeled. That's not helping anything. That's not helping like the comic. That's not helping progress. That's not coming to somewhat of an agreement here. Like they push this stuff onto people, mainly straight people and a lot of Christian people who I know, or religious in general. A lot of people are religious in the United States, so a lot of people are not going to agree with characters being gay. I don't exactly agree with that. I have my own reasons. That doesn't make me a homophobe or anything like that. If someone wanted to discuss it further, I guess I can go into more detail about it. Um, I guess that's a discussion for a different video. So those are like the main problems I see them doing. I think the number one, it feels forced. The feelings, I know, the fucking dangerous topic there. I know that's a dangerous word to say. Um, it seems like it. Like you just can't feel shit. Like or else forced. Then they don't do anything with that characteristic that they just blatantly point out. What does it matter what the sexuality, race, gender mean? Then don't point it out. If like these characteristics don't matter, characteristics, I can't fucking talk, don't matter, then why highlight this as what is appealing to it? That just blows my fucking mind. I don't get it. I just hopefully they actually have some meaningful comics with it if they go forward with it. I see it probably tanking and not doing very well, just like the rest of these other comics. They usually have to cancel them in a couple issues because they're not selling well. Then they're like, oh, they're just intolerant. They just can't read it when it's not really that interesting to begin with. So hopefully we can have a little bit of middle ground here, and I don't get called a bunch of names just because I just disagree with something. That's pretty much it. Thank you for listening. Right, comment, subscribe.